Real with Dr. Lil. I wanted to come on today so I can just get you guys up to date on some stuff that is happening, both in my legal story and my story. As you know, I've been doing these different little tidbits over the last year or so, and it was really basically to empower people and to get them more aware of what they might be going through is not just them. So I wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about both today, because I hadn't been on here in a minute, and let you know I'm trying to work with other organizations and stuff in the community that can help, that's going to help propel some of the stories around the country so that we can try to resolve the issue. Can you imagine that, trying to resolve the issue? So the first thing I want to talk about is my personal story, which was the My Story stuff in the book. We had been talking about the different types of things that happen from a tragedy. One of the things I want to talk about today for a few minutes is just on the area of what a tragedy can do in long term. Most of you understand and know that when a tragedy happens to a person, regardless of what it is, the tragedy, in some cases, depending on what it is, can have emotional effect and it can have a physical effect. For instance, the people over in Turkey had a circumstance where they had an earthquake, where they lost everything physically, which is obviously a problem and a concern that can make you, devastated because you've lost everything. There's also an emotional loss, and then the emotional loss deals with the mentality that comes along with the loss itself. So it's the same thing with losing my parents. One of the things I tell people is you never get over it. You never get over it, but you learn to live with it by the power of God, and it's only the power of God. So nonetheless, with our circumstance and situation, we have learned to live with the circumstance and to make the best of it because of the power of God and the peace that comes along with that. That's number one. Number two, the other thing dealing with my legal story. The legal story is really funny. Right now, we have a circumstance where I had sent some information to the appellate division in New Jersey. And apparently they said they didn't get it, even though it was mailed to them. One person did say they had it, another person they didn't. But let's just say you didn't get it. You didn't get the documentation. So therefore, I had to, what they do, file a late motion for what I needed to file a late motion for. I did that. And in the interim, I paid $50 for the late motion that I filed, asking the court to allow me to do a late filing of my appeal because they had lost the papers. When I did that, I also had to send in $250 for the appeal. So I sent in $50 for the motion and $250 for the appeal. The understanding was that the court or the judges, through the motion, had to deny or grant me to file a late appeal. If they will allow me to do a late appeal, that would be $250. Well, apparently the court cashed both of my money orders. They put in the $50 money order, they put in the $250 money order, which didn't make any sense. And it was not under my understanding. I was never sent anything regarding my appeal because of the fact the court had denied allowing me to file a late appeal. Well, denying the file a late appeal means that the appeal was never filed, but the order or the money order was cashed. So we find out that the court generated an appeal number from something that was never even granted. I was never provided any services as it related to an appeal. So why was the money order cashed? Nonetheless, I sent the court or the appellate court, the clerk's office, asking them to give me my money back. They said, we can't give money back unless you give a directive, which is some sort of memo or something like a motion asking for your money back since no order exists. Okay, so I did that. Then they come back again and says, we can't give you the money back because you have your motion or your appeal in another jurisdiction. Well, I don't have an appeal. So the whole thing, a notion on how the court can file something that don't exist when the judges never granted it, makes no sense. The motion order, money order should have been cashed. The appeal money order should have been returned like they returned the documents to me. They returned the documents to me when the court denied my late filing of the appeal. So why was not my money order sent as well? These things make it appear and what we believe to be discrimination based on retaliation, gender, etc. So that's the latest thing that's going on right now with my legal story. There's some other stuff. That's the main thing. So I'm asking the public, for those who are watching this, to write me, send email, because I'm trying to get support from the public and rectifying this problem. I do have a couple organizations who are going to be helping me, but if you have a similar story with the New Jersey Appellate Division, please write me and tell me about it so that I can pass that on to the group that's helping us, and hopefully together we can get this problem resolved. Because right now it's a problem. It's a problem that needs to be resolved, and it needs to be resolved soon. So I wanted to get on and talk to you just a little bit, tidbit about personal story, my story, and legal story. I want you all to continue to be encouraged. Don't give up. If something was done to you and you know it's wrong, if you feel that this is the battle that God wants you to fight, then fight it. Fight it clean. Don't be dirty like some people. Don't try to join together with one group of people and have somebody do a cover up, because all that's going to be busted in your face. Do what's right in the eyes of God, because God is using this circumstance and situation to help you and help others who may be going through something similar in order to fix the system. I really believe that. Nonetheless, thank you all so much for tuning in to Keeping It Real with Dr. Lil. As I said, I'll be doing this off and on, continue off and on the best I can, because things have been going on. There's other stuff, good stuff going on. And then there's just weird stuff happening in between, like this, that we need to deal with, fix, and bring to pass. Thank you so much for tuning in. We look forward to talking with you real soon. This is Dr. Lily M. Coley on Keeping It Real with Dr. Lil.